Scene script. Have you ever wondered why certain people can easily take advantage of you while others cannot? It's a question that has puzzled many, and the answer lies in the concept of personal boundaries. Now, what are personal boundaries, you might ask? Well, they are the invisible lines that define the emotional and mental space between you and others. They are the rules and limits we set for ourselves within relationships. The importance of personal boundaries can't be overstated. They help maintain a healthy relationship with oneself and others. They give us the freedom to be ourselves, without the fear of being judged or criticized. They allow us to express our thoughts and feelings openly and honestly. They protect us from being manipulated or used by others. In essence, personal boundaries are our personal no trespassing signs. However, there's a common misconception that setting boundaries equates to being selfish or rude. That's not true. Setting boundaries is about respecting and honoring your needs, feelings, and well-being. It's about saying no when you need to and not feeling guilty about it. It's about taking care of yourself so that you can take care of others. Imagine trying to fill a cup from a well that's run dry. You can't, right? It's the same with us. If we don't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of others. If we don't set boundaries, we end up feeling drained, resentful, and unhappy. So the next time someone crosses the line, remember that it's not about them, but about you. It's not about being selfish, but about self-care. It's not about pushing others away, but about drawing a line in the sand to protect your peace and happiness. The truth is, setting boundaries is not about pushing others away, but about respecting and protecting yourself. And that, my friends, is the power and importance of personal boundaries. They are not just about keeping people out, but about letting the right ones in. They are not about building walls, but about building bridges to healthier and happier relationships. Consider Lisa, a friendly and outgoing woman who had a friend who constantly demanded her time and attention. Lisa was always there for her friend, but this relationship began to take a toll on her. She felt drained, stressed, and found herself always on edge. Her friend's demands seemed endless, leaving Lisa feeling like she was losing herself piece by piece. Then, Lisa had an epiphany. She realized that she needed to establish boundaries to protect her time and emotional well-being. So, she did. She communicated her needs to her friend, expressing how she felt, and setting clear expectations for their relationship. And the result? It was transformative. Her friend began to respect her time and space, and their relationship improved. Lisa found herself feeling more relaxed, more in control, and even happier. By setting boundaries, Lisa regained control of her time and energy, and even improved her relationship with her friend. Then meet Sarah, a loving woman in a relationship with a partner who often made decisions for her. Sarah's journey is one that many can relate to. She found herself in a situation where her partner's need to control things began to overshadow her own desires and needs. She felt disrespected in her relationship. She was a passenger in her own life, with her partner at the wheel, dictating the route and speed. This began to weigh heavily on Sarah. She felt like she was losing herself, her identity was becoming blurred, and her personal space invaded. But then, a realization dawned on her. She recognized that her partner's controlling behavior was crossing her personal boundaries. She understood that this was not about love, but about control, and that for her well-being she needed to take a stand. She needed to assert her boundaries, to regain her autonomy, to reclaim her voice. So Sarah did something brave. She communicated her boundaries to her partner. She explained how she felt, how his behavior was stifling her, and how she needed space to be herself. She expressed her need for respect and understanding, for a partnership, not a dictatorship. The conversation was not easy, but it was necessary. And guess what? It led to positive changes. Her partner, taken aback at first, slowly began to understand her perspective. He started to respect her boundaries, giving her the space she needed. Their relationship began to evolve into a more balanced, respectful partnership. By setting boundaries, Sarah did not just improve her relationship, she improved her life. She discovered a newfound respect for herself and her needs. She learned that it's okay to say no, it's okay to assert yourself, and it's okay to demand respect. She found her voice and with it, her power. By setting boundaries, Sarah regained her autonomy and improved her relationship with her partner. Her story serves as a powerful reminder that setting boundaries is not about pushing people away, but about making room for respect, understanding, and love in our relationships. Finally, let's look at Maria, a dedicated woman with a family who constantly intruded on her personal space. This was a woman who loved her family dearly, but often felt overwhelmed by their constant demands and intrusions. She was always on duty, always available, and it was taking a toll on her mental and emotional health. Maria knew something had to change. She realized that the only way to regain her sanity was to set boundaries. She had to communicate her needs clearly, assertively, and without guilt. She made it clear to her family that she needed time for herself, time to recharge and rejuvenate. It wasn't easy, and there was resistance at first. But Maria stood her ground, and slowly, her family began to respect her boundaries. This change didn't just benefit Maria, it also improved her relationships with her family members. They started to appreciate her more, and their bonds grew stronger. By setting boundaries, Maria regained her personal space and even improved her relationship with her family. So, what can we learn from Lisa, Sarah, and Maria about setting personal boundaries? Well, let's take a breather and unpack these narratives, shall we? Each of these three women faced unique challenges, but the common thread woven across their experiences is the need for personal boundaries. The first step in this journey is recognizing when boundaries are needed. It's like we all have a personal bubble around us. Sometimes that bubble gets poked, prodded, and even popped by people in our lives. It's in these moments that we must identify the need for boundaries. Next, we must consider the role of communication in setting these boundaries. It's not enough to simply know that a boundary is needed. We must also express it to the relevant parties. Each of our protagonists, Lisa, Sarah, and Maria, found their voices and communicated their needs effectively. They weren't aggressive or rude, they were assertive and clear. And that's the key, isn't it? Clear, assertive communication is the cornerstone of setting personal boundaries. Finally, let's talk about the positive effects of setting boundaries on personal well-being and relationships. We often fear that setting boundaries will push others away, but in reality, it does the opposite. It fosters mutual respect and understanding, strengthens relationships, and most importantly, it protects our mental and emotional health. When Lisa, Sarah, and Maria set their boundaries, they didn't just create space between themselves and the people in their lives. They created space for themselves, space to breathe, to grow, and to thrive. So to sum up, setting boundaries is a three-step dance. Recognize when they're needed, communicate them effectively, and reap the rewards of healthier relationships and improved well-being. Remember, setting boundaries is not about pushing others away, but about respecting and protecting yourself. So, have you thought about your boundaries lately?